there's things that bring us back, like nostalgic back. Typically music, one more time, smells, food, movies. But in this case, for me, it's a running shoe. Why does this shoe take me back to feeling nostalgic? It took about a half mile and I felt like, man, I remember when I fell in love with running and it felt like this shoe. In a day and age where innovation is way too rapid sometimes, innovation for just innovation's sake, more often than not, the innovation doesn't really work. This shoe, Adidas SL20.3, brings it back to basics and feels like a natural running shoe. The shoe is a simple breath of fresh air. No frills, no gimmicks, no over-engineering, and at a price point that I still can't believe, it is an absolute game changer for the daily trainer market. I've taken this shoe almost 100 miles, and typically I do 5 straight runs and do a review, but I just kept running in it and kept running in it and kept running in it, and finally here to make a video. As you know from some previous reviews, I'm loving high stack heights. I love that soft midsole. When I am in a shoe that has a lot of protection on my feet, I'm happy. That's not this shoe, but there is so much to love about this shoe that I'll get into why maybe 2022's best value shoe and potentially one of the best value shoes I've ever seen in running. This shoe has gone on easy runs, it's gone on long runs, it's gone on hill repeats, it's gone on tempos and some thresholds, and there is a great fit for this across many different shoes, but there is one area probably not gonna take this shoe on. So let me get you the good, the not so good, and my overall impression of the Adidas SL20.3. This shoe to me is a bright, shiny, and light star. Coming in at under 9 ounces at 8.7, this shoe can really do it all. The upper, not over-engineered, not complicated, but incredibly comfortable on everything from 3-mile easy runs to 13-mile long runs. The midsole, great, has a lot of bounce and zippiness for a 27 millimeter in the back to 19 millimeters in the front, but is this the one for the long run? Not quite sure, more on that later. An outsole that was phenomenal. I got to in Southern California, put in a rainy day, and I had no slip. Concrete, asphalt, you name it, this shoe was holding up. And if I go any farther without talking about the price point of the shoe, I think you should turn away from the video. Right now, $77. I bought this shoe at $110, and I thought to myself, this potentially is the best value in all of running. And then when I got an ad that said it's down to $77, I was like, how many miles can I put in this shoe to hurry up and buy another pair of this shoe? Because it's simply that good. Even though I am a huge fan of those high stack heights, this lower stack height shoe still extremely protective of my feet. I can think of the downhills on my hill repeats and still feeling like there was a lot of protection for my feet as I'm coming off my 8 to 12% grade hills that I'm running. It's light enough and snappy enough that when I was putting in some tempo miles around 6 minutes, sometimes under 6 minute pace, it had the ability for me to get through the turnover and get through the gate and not feel bogged down and feel heavy. It may not have the carbon plate or these fancy midsoles that are in other shoes, but just with regular lightning strike midsole foam, I felt like this shoe had a lot of pop in it. When I go to and look at what am I gonna use in a fartlek type run, this may be one of the shoes I go grab for that 8 to 10 mile fartlek run. Everything from daily trainers to hills, this shoe really hits the mark. And where did this shoe struggle? Not the upper. The upper is extremely comfortable, nothing messing in the heel pocket. The tongue is extremely comfortable, not gusseted or semi-gusseted, but a very comfortable tongue and very breathable. The outsole, great on dry days, great on rainy days, and just enough rubber to keep the weight down, but also keep it durable. It's potentially in the midsole, and here's why. I typically have a range that I do my daily trainer runs between 8 and 12 miles. But when I crept up and took this shoe out on one of my longer midweek threshold runs, that's when I really could tell. It wasn't during the run, and it wasn't simply just the day of the run. It was more like the morning after. I felt like my feet and my lower legs were just a little bit more beat up than normal. And why do I think that is? I think part of that is I'm used to a higher stack height. I'm used to more foam under my feet for those longer runs. And so when I did 12, 13, 14 miles in this shoe, I just think my body wasn't used to that low of a stack height in a shoe. And that would say is my only drawback on this shoe, because I put so many runs in between that 10 and 14 miles that for me is a sweet spot. If you're somebody who puts in a lot of 3 to 10 mile runs and that's your sweet spot, this may be your one and done shoe you need in your shoe rotation. So overall, I mean, it's clear. I absolutely love the SL20.3 by Adidas, but how much more do I love it now that they dropped the price to 77 bucks? So much that I may just go online and order another pair. So if you're looking for that one shoe that can do almost everything in your daily trainer lineup, everything but those really long runs or some of those mid-distance runs, get yourself a pair of SL20.3s. I know this isn't gonna be my first pair because I'll be coming back to adidas.com for sure.